organization, and the third is interpretation. Now I'll give you an example. I am going to a restaurant, बड़ा fancy restaurant है, बारिश हुई है, there is a small puddle. I go there, मेरा पैर puddle में जाता है, almost मैं बचती हूँ, and then I just go in the restaurant. The food is amazing, the service is amazing. I come back, and when everyone asks me, how was your experience? And I'm like, the food was good, the service was good, but वहाँ पे ना जो वो गड्ढा है ना, you have to be very careful when you go in during rains. Do we do that?
But
Anyone, do we actually do that? We do selective sharing with people, right, on the basis of our mood that day.
हो सकता है.
There are sometimes, so basically it's a very small example जो हम लोग regularly करते हैं, and we don't realize it, but it's become a part of our life now. These perceptions जो ये हमारे create हुए हैं, ये they become a part, हम बड़ा selected अपने दिमाग में रखते हैं. Someone, a friend of yours, हम उनसे मिलते हैं, 10 साल बाद मिलते हैं, and वो for whatever reasons हमसे बहुत warmly नहीं मिलते, right? Hi, how are you? And they're busy. हमने अपने दिमाग में perceive कर लिया that they're avoiding us or they're not friends with us anymore. What are we doing? Selective. हमें नहीं पता what frame of mind that person has come from, उसका क्या emotional state है, और हम अपने दिमाग में उसके बारे में बहुत perceptions बना लेते हैं. Genuinely, if you sit down and think about it, we do it on a daily basis. हमारी maid छुट्टी पे गई है, and the first thing we say is, वो बोलती है फोन करके मैं बीमार हूँ. A lot of times they're lying, but a lot of times they're genuinely not well, और हम अपने दिमाग में ये perceive कर लेते हैं कि यार ये तो उनकी आदत है. Selective organization of our thoughts, and then the interpretation, because when we are talking or communicating, we say that कि उतना ही कि ये तो रोज का ही इसका ड्रामा है. We don't know what the other person is going through, and just form assumptions on the basis of our perceptions. If anyone wants to share an incident, where you've actually formed a perception and you've been proved wrong about it. Anyone?
नूपुर, मेरे साथ में अभी हुआ था. मतलब मैंने अजम्पशन किया था कि मेरी फ्रेंड की काम वाली, वो हमेशा छुट्टी ले लेती है. तो मैं हमेशा उसको बोलता हूँ कि यार थोड़े दिनों तो ऐसा लगा कि ओके ठीक है, बट फिर जब कंटिन्यूस छुट्टी होने लगी तो मैंने अज़म किया यार ये तो गलत ही है, मतलब बार बार ये मांगती है. बट कई सारी चीज़ों में ये डेफिनेटली कि वो राइट है. कभी मैं अजम्पशन करता हूँ बट वो गलत भी होता है.
That's true, because हम लोग ना अपने स्टेट ऑफ माइंड के हिसाब से परसीव करते हैं. शायद इफ यू आर इन अ वेरी गुड स्टेट ऑफ माइंड, आपका परसेप्शन उस चीज का बड़ा अलग होगा. एंड again, it is a habit. We always go towards the negative thoughts before we come towards the positive emotions. So we have to avoid perceiving things. And what perceptions actually does is, and how we form our perceptions is on the basis of an energy that how in terms of positive energy, positive, or whether we feel lazy or lethargic, and what sorts of energy. Our body's awareness decision. Being hungry is the word hungry. The new term that has come few years back के उससे बात मत करो, वो भूखा है. जब वो उसका पेट भर जाएगा, then communicate, right? Because when we are, these are all reasons where, and there are different factors which form our perceptions. Easy to read statements seem more true. Notice it. Now that I'm pinpointing this, notice it. If there is a very simple statement written, you will be, connecting with it faster than those complicated words and those complicated percentages which we do not use every day. You will believe it to be true. Feeling bad makes things harder to comprehend. If we are feeling bad, if our day is not good, हमें कुछ समझ नहीं आएगा. दूसरे बंदे के बारे में we won't even bother, because we have let that emotion overrule us and we become a hostage to that emotion. तो हमें दूसरे का perspective है, दूसरे का emotion समझ नहीं आएगा उसमें. Our social conditioning, this is the most important thing which forms our perceptions. How we are brought up. हमें कितनी सारी चीजें, when we are little, our grandmothers or someone, in most of the cases, not in every case, they come and say, रात में nails मत काटो, अच्छा नहीं होता. Ladder के नीचे से मत जाओ, अच्छा नहीं होता. काली बिल्ली रास्ता काट गई है, it's not good, it's ill luck. Did we ever think that this has been being passed on from generations to generations and it has formed our perception? Literally, whenever, if I'm cutting, my son's nails, even in the evening, which I do consciously in the evening now because I want to get rid of that perception, but somewhere at the back of my mind, that my conditioning stays at the back of my mind. जब वो रीजन, जब उन्होंने ये कहना स्टार्ट किया, वो जमाने में लाइट भी नहीं होती थी, तो रात में, और नेल्स काटने के प्रॉपर इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स भी नहीं होते थे, नेल कटर्स भी नहीं होते थे, तो रात में अंधेरे में अगर कोई नेल काटने जाता तो आई थिंक दे वुड हैव एक्चुअली चॉप्ड ऑफ देयर फिंगर. लैडर के नीचे से अभी भी अगर हम जाएंगे, देयर इज अ चांस, मोर चांस ऑफ द लैडर स्लिपिंग एंड फॉलिंग ऑन आवर हेड एंड वी गेटिंग इंजर्ड. A black cat, we cannot see a black cat at night, so we are going to run over the black cat if we are driving. So there are reasons why these thoughts were created, but what we did, ye humne condition kar karke, we keep talking about it, they've been instilled in us. These are just very small examples. लड़कियां ये नहीं कर सकती, लड़के ये कर सकते हैं. I don't want to go in that gender thing, but somewhere those perceptions are there. Oh, this girl, she comes back late at night, so there is, those social conditionings have formed our perceptions and we need to get out of these perceptions. मैं सुबह उठती हूँ, okay, and this relative of mine, वो आते हैं मेरे घर, and I'm not so fond of that relative. I get up in the morning and I'm like, आज का दिन तो मेरा खराब जाएगा. That's the attitude I wake up with after looking at that person. I come going in my car to my office, मेरी गाड़ी स्क्रैच हो जाती है. Like, आज का दिन तो खराब जाएगा. I get into an argument with the person who scratched my car. Okay, how you look and drive, or look and ride your bike. Then I go to my office. जो मेरी parking spot है, it's not my parking spot, but where I usually park my car, that spot is filled. Then I go further. I'm not in a very good mood because सुबह मैंने उनकी शक्ल देख ली थी, that relative of mine. मैं ऑफिस जाती हूँ, I'm not working properly. My boss comes, nags me, tells me तुमने ये भी नहीं सुना और ये भी पूरा नहीं करा, and all of that is constantly happening to me, and I knew my day is going to be bad because I had seen that person's face. I am perceiving उस इंसान का, XYZ का, मेरी गाड़ी के स्क्रैच होने से और मेरे बॉस की नैग करने से कोई कनेक्शन नहीं. But my entire day, I've let that one emotion overrule my entire day. And I think a lot of us do that. आज in the morning my coffee wasn't right, my chai wasn't right, मेरे को ये काम करना पड़ा, my entire day is going to go wrong. And we let that day happen. We let it become bad for us because somewhere we are not behaving emotionally intelligently, and because we are not doing that, we are forming these perceptions and assumptions, और हम ना react करते हैं. We don't respond when we are in that state of mind. While that XYZ person came to my head, it has no connection with my car getting scratched. That was my driving, my state of mind which was not concentrating, or the other person's state of mind who scratched my car. If I was in a better mood, मैं शायद उतर के उनसे आर्ग्यू नहीं करती, because पर मेरा दिन तो खराब ही जाना है, तो मैंने उतर के आर्ग्यू करा. मैंने उतर के आर्ग्यू करा, मेरे 10 मिनट्स वेस्ट हुए, मैं वहां गई, मेरी पार्किंग स्पॉट चला गया, मेरा दिन तो खराब जाना ही था. आज मैं ऑफिस में गई, आज मूड ही नहीं है कुछ काम करने का. ऑफ कोर्स माय बॉस इज गोइंग टू कम एंड नैग मी एंड टेल मी, हेलो, काम करो. My day had to go bad. मैंने ये अपने दिमाग में भर लिया. I filled my brain with this thought that my day is going to be bad. So whatever I did was not actually a response. I was reacting to those situations. And it is important to respond and not react. That is when I need to control my emotion, because I cannot let one single emotion overrule, which is there in 10% of my day, spoil my entire 90% of it. And we do it, and we do it very consciously, and that is where we need to be emotionally intelligent. We need to respond and not react to situations. Perceiving emotions, it's very important to identify the emotion in yourself and the others. And how do we do that? by their body language, by the tone, by the pitch, by the volume that they are talking to us. Reasoning with emotions. We need to reason our emotions. Is it logical? Is it a valid emotion to have at that point of time? Not everything in our life is black and white, there is a lot of gray in our life. And we have to learn to reason our emotions, understanding emotions. We need to understand the emotions and the impact that they're going to have in our decision making, in our problem solving skills, in developing a relationship with someone. All these emotions are going to have an impact on us. So we need to understand each emotion. If I'm talking, to my colleague in a very rude tone, it's going to come back to me, because that colleague is not going to respect me, eventually. And somewhere where I need that colleague's help, they will not be readily available to help me. So we need to understand and the impact of that decision, emotion, managing emotions, regulating and responding. A fan as a regulator, na, हम कभी उसको full speed कर देते हैं, कभी हम उसको कम कर देते हैं the speed. Why do we do that? Because बहुत ज्यादा हो जाता है या बहुत कम हो जाता है. Everything has a regulator. Similarly, for our emotions, we need to have a regulator. अगर हम अपना anger, I'm talking mostly about negative emotions, because when we are in a joyful state of mind, now we're making other people positive. But when we are not in a joyful state of mind, we are not regulating our negative emotions, we are impacting people more. Yes, yes, Mahesh.
मैम, इज़ इट पॉसिबल दैट इमोशन इज़ इन अंडर अवर कंट्रोल? क्योंकि होता क्या है कि इमोशन कितने भी आप करो वो बाहर आते ही आते हैं. इफ़ यू नो दैट
I
दिस इज़ द प्रॉब्लम, अगर गुस्से में होते हैं ऑफिस पे जाके वो गुस्सा निकलता ही है. आप घर का गुस्सा ऑफिस पे निकलता है, ऑफिस का गुस्सा घर पे निकलता है. तो यू कांट, समटाइम इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट, यू कांट मैनेज योर इमोशंस. सो इन दैट.
I'll tell you a way to go about it. घर में गुस्सा है, give yourself a time limit. That is where we talk about being emotionally intelligent. मुझे घर में गुस्सा है, मैं ऑफिस जाते ही मेरा रिएक्शन निकलेगा, because I don't have the time and I'm reaching the office. अपने आप को एटलीस्ट आधा घंटा दीजिए. डू एन एक्टिविटी, डू समथिंग दैट चेंजेस योर माइंडसेट. You have to, that is what emotional intelligence is all about. That we need to work on ourselves, and logically हमें वो सोचना है कि यार अगर मैंने ऐसे रिएक्ट किया तो दूसरा बंदा का माइंडसेट भी मैं चेंज कर रही हूँ, राइट? If I am getting angry, if you're getting angry at whoever's working for you, somewhere you're changing their positive state of mind into a negative state of mind. So this is what emotional intelligence is all about. We need to be aware of our emotions. We need to learn how to control, regulate our emotions before reacting. We need to learn how to respond to those emotions. Mahesh, was I clear?
मैम, मैं आई एम नॉट 100%
Could I
satisfied
answer
because
your question?
because I want to learn something that how can I control that emotion. वो कैसे करूँ?
See, how you control that emotion, there are various ways of controlling that emotion. Some people express those emotions by writing those emotions down and getting it out of their system instead of reacting on someone. Some people listen to good music, get it out of their
Okay.
system. Because it's not fair na कि हम किसी और का गुस्सा किसी और. It is a very difficult thing. Again, I told you, it's a habit. We have to change our habits to actually, it's a process. You cannot be emotionally intelligent, just by not being aware of what you're going through. And you need to also know how to regulate that. वो सबसे ज्यादा जरूरी है कि मुझे गुस्सा आ रहा है, मेरा माइंडसेट किस चीज से चेंज हो. Not every time is it possible to apply those techniques, but keep those techniques handy so that it doesn't happen more often. And eventually वो एक habit बन जाती है. जब आपको वो क्यों मिला कि मैंने I expressed a negative emotion to someone, उसने मेरे से ऐसे respond किया, और उसका that person's work, the professional work that that person was doing, वो उसका काम affect किया because of my anger. So what is it that you're getting in the end? Nothing. No work done because of that anger. So we need, and that only happens with practice, Mahesh. We need to start timing ourselves. So there was a training session, and it's a very difficult thing that I'm sharing. It's someone else's story, but I would like to share it with you all over here. So that girl had to go for a training session to this very big corporate house, and she gets a call 15 minutes before the training session, and she was going through some personal problems, and her husband, overreacted and really misbehaved with the. This is a true incident that I'm sharing with you. Misbehaved with the parents who were living with her, helping her out with a child, because of which she could go out and work, because apparently the husband and wife did not get along. And that girl, उसको कॉल आता है that हम जा रहे हैं, you take care of your child, we cannot handle this kind of behavior. The child is alone with her help there at home, and no parents, no family member, just a maid who's there, who's taking care of this. That girl, because she is, making it into a habit of being emotionally intelligent, वो bathroom में गई, washroom में. She gave herself 15 minutes. She had to present in front of 50 people who you all know, you all work in corporates, and they can ask you questions left, right, and center. So you need to be in that straight frame of mind to answer those questions. And with that negative, with that baggage, you cannot. That girl went for 15 minutes. She's like, 4 घंटे का session है. It's just a matter of 4 hours. Called up the help, said, manage karna. Cried her heart out because it was a very difficult situation that she was going through. There was no one else to help her at that point of time because no one else had prepared for a session. Expressed her emotion. The way for her to express it was by crying. She cried her heart out, washed her face, did her makeup again, went and presented. She couldn't continue for 4 hours, 3.5 hours without taking any questions. She ran back to her house. That was being emotionally intelligent. Could I make something clear here?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes, it was very clear.
Yeah. So, we all are going through, each one of us is going through something or the other in our lives. It's just that we need to know how to handle those emotions. That is the most important part. And handle them intelligently. Regulate our emotions. Okay, now I'm going to share a story with you all. Not a story, it's actually a strategy for all you HR people here, most of you HR people. It's a story, it's a strategy that McDonald's had used. I don't know, I'm sure a lot of you must have heard of it, and if not, then I'm sharing it with you. That strategy was thank you crew. So all the customers who were coming there, they had to write thank you and why